Hello, hello, hello. JVix here with another episode of Meet the Experts, the show that just features small business owners who are out there trying to make their mark in the world. And as we've done so many times in the past, and as I've said so many times in the past, creating video and creating content is so important these days. And a lot of us just we have a hard time doing it. It's not easy. It's something we have to set time aside for. Everybody says, oh, I could record a quick video and put it up here, and then it's like, oh, I have to edit it, I have to do this, I have to do that. Small business owners don't often have a lot of time for that. So Meet the Experts was our way of kind of saying to the business community, hey, come record video with us. Let's interview you. Let's let you talk about who you are and what you do, and then package it up and give it to you. So we're close to 60 episodes now. And when you're watching this, I think Dr. Brooks today might be like episode 59 or 60. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to bring Dr. Brooks Demming up for a short chat today. So Dr. Brooks, how are you today?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I didn't give a quick bio intro. You are a life coach, and we're going to talk all about that and what that means and who you help. So why don't I let you get started? Tell us a little bit more about you and what you do.
So my name again is Dr. Brooks, and I am a life coach. I'm also an entrepreneur and an author. And so basically what I do is I work with mid-career professionals as well as business owners to help them overcome preconceived obstacles that's standing in their way. And how I do that is I teach them how to become resilient by activating 6 pillars that I have proven to work as a strategy to make sure that people don't sit in failure, that they're able to quickly bounce back and just continue to pursue their goals.
I love that. I absolutely love that. All right. So when you're talking about, and I love that you help the mid-career professionals, because a lot of the people that probably will watch this from my audience are typically mid-career professionals. But when you talk about the coaching, so tell us a little bit more about some of like the different services, or I don't even know if you've productized them, but any products or services. And I know mid-career professionals is who you help, but do you have any? Go a little deeper, products and services, and like really who are some of the people that you really focus on helping?
So my industry is actually HR. And so a lot of the people that come to me are people that are in the HR field and they're maybe stuck and they're having a hard time. Maybe they want to go into upper leadership or management and they're not quite sure of what competencies, organizations are looking for. So I typically help people that's in the HR field, but not saying that I won't help people that are in other industries. And what my coaching looks like is we do just a quick call just to see where you are, what your goals are, what do you feel is holding you back. And then once we identify that, I actually customize packages for each of my clients just to help them to move forward into activating the person that they want to be or they desire to be. And like I said, my particular program is founded on 6 pillars of resilience, which is a book that I wrote. The 6 pillars are self-actualization, emotional intelligence, reasoning, mental agility, perseverance, and endurance. And so basically what I do is based on what the client tells me, I look at their overall life, their overall professional career, and I see what areas they can use improvement. So a lot of the times they're not able to move forward simply because they haven't activated a particular competency. And so then once we identify that, we begin working on that particular competency. We would talk about, hey, what can you do in your professional setting to be able to show leadership or management, that you are proficient in these areas. And so that's basically what I coach them on. And so you have an opportunity to work with me for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days for those clients that need more time. I have customized packages for that.
That's cool. So it's a very short term thing. Like, hey, let's we're not wasting any time. We're going to get started. And 90 days from now, you should be like where you were, at least on that path. You should know where you're going. That's awesome.
Yes.
So I'm sure you've helped a lot of people and you probably have some great testimonials and great feedback. Has anybody ever said anything to you, like a customer win or a testimonial, that if I said right now, give me a customer win or testimonial, that it just jumps to the front of your mind?
Yes, I actually had a client that told me I taught her how to show up for herself because I'm really big on how do you show up for yourself. And what I mean by that is a lot of the times when we are doing things for other people, we're motivated, we are so enthusiastic, and we're going to give our all. But when it comes to ourselves, we allow insecurities to kind of creep in and prevent us from really showing up for ourselves. And that insecurity could be that small voice that says, I'm not smart enough. Everyone else in the room can do it better. And so a lot of the times when we show up, we may show up as 25% of ourselves when we have so much more to offer. And so a lot of my clients always tell me, you taught me how to show up for myself. You taught me how to believe in myself. You really helped me to realize that everything that I need, I already have. I just needed to activate it.
That's so cool. That's so cool. You know, it reminds me of like there's a big saying in our field, right? In the marketing field, where people talk about imposter syndrome, right?
Yes.
Where they feel like they're going to get exposed as a fraud, where maybe everybody else is better than them, and they start doubting themselves. I've
Yes.
gone through it. I still go through it when I learn new things, and you know, I'm seeing other people go through certain things. Like I fail to remember that in what I do in my profession, I know more than 99% of the rest of the world in what I do, right? Sure, I know people that are in the 1% that are better than me, but it doesn't make me less. It makes me still a top expert. And I think that a lot of us in our fields, we forget that. And then we just see people that we're looking up to and we're like, "Oh gosh, I'm just not that good. So I don't want to get, exposed as some fraud." Um, and it sounds like that's exactly what you hit on are the people that kind of feel like that maybe they're only showing up to 25%, but they have so much more that they're just not giving themselves credit for. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's take a walk back down your memory lane. And how did we get to where we're at? I call it earned it, learned it, improved your authority. How does Dr. Brooks become Dr. Brooks?
So basically, I am a military spouse. And so I have moved around so much. And what I learned is over that time was that I allowed not being in a salary position to identify who I was as a person. And so I had to look many years ago and say, okay, Brooks, who do you desire to be outside of being a military spouse? And so that's when I pursued education. That's when I pursued entrepreneurship, because the moving every 2 to 3 years, it really set me back as far as my career path. And so a lot of the times we allow the positions, the titles to kind of, be our identity. And so what I had to learn was to separate the two. And okay, Brooks, who do you want to be as a woman? Who do you want to be as a wife, a mom, as a leader? Who do I want to be? Because all of those things are separate and they make me who I am. And so basically, that's how I got where I am today. I had to sit and have a real conversation with myself and be authentic with myself. I had to identify my strengths, my weaknesses. I had to identify those things that were easily available to me. What resources did I have at my disposal that will help me to be able to, each time we move, I wouldn't lose income. I still would be able, to work and provide for my family. And so that's when I was like, okay, you're really good at communicating, you're really good at mentoring and coaching, because a lot of my experience, the majority of my career has been in HR, which was mentoring, coaching, teaching. And so I decided to take all of that I've learned in the corporate setting and just make a career for myself as far as entrepreneurship. And so when I did that, I was able to not only use what I've learned in the corporate world, but also what I learned as a military spouse, not always being, in those positions that made you feel validated. I started over a lot of times. And so when mid-career professionals come to me, I've been there and done that. I've been in leadership, and then I moved, and then I had to start back in an entry level position, and then work my way back up. And so that's how I became Dr. Brooks. That's how I became resilient. That's just how I was able to identify what I wanted my life to be like. I did not want to be later in life, continuing to start over. And so entrepreneurship was the best route for me.
Man, that is awesome. I love the resiliency, like just knowing that, like, you can define something that's not going to be determined by geography
Yes.
or the age of your children, or like there's especially the geography moving around, like just knowing um like a laptop lifestyle, right? Like
Yes.
you can work wherever you can, wherever you are, you
Yes.
can be you, and you can continue to help people move forward. And I think that's awesome. And it's so funny, ever since I started doing this show, right? um I've met so many people who are just like us, like you
Mhm.
and I, right? Where it's like we want to do these things. We're just getting our stories out there, getting our name out there, because we don't want to be defined by like a 9 to 5 or just a
Mhm.
job or this. We're entrepreneurs, right? Like we've often joked, right, as entrepreneurs, like we're just unemployable. Like if you gave us a job, we'd probably be the greatest employee you ever had, because we were going to treat it as if it was our own company.
Yes.
But then we also realized that, well, if I'm going to treat something like my own company, I may as well just start my own company. So we're basically just unemployable. Great
Yes.
employees, but unemployable, right? Because we don't want to be. We're going to be miserable if we have to be an employee. All right, I'm gonna change gears a little bit, sort of, though, because I think you've talked a bit about this. But Dr. Brooks, just tell me something that you are just truly thankful for, personally, professionally, whatever. Just give us some things you're really, really thankful for.
I am really thankful that despite living overseas, despite moving around, I haven't lost my ability to connect with people. And so a lot of the times when you only can connect with people, via internet or, text messages, phone calls, you can desensitize yourself and you can sort of not really be present in the moment. And so I am just thankful that despite everything, that I still have the ability to connect with people and people still can connect with me, because I think sometimes we take that, we take that lightly. We don't really consider the fact that we can make connections, because unfortunately a lot of people have the inability to do so. And
Mhm.
so I'm just honored and thankful that I can still relate and I can still connect with people.
That's really, really awesome. I like to hear that, especially given what we've been through the last, 3, 4 years,
Yeah.
well, 3 years, 3.5 years. Just the fact that we've had to really connect virtually, but I also think it has brought people back together, or people together. But it shows we are lucky. We are lucky that we still have this ability. All right. Well, I only have like one more main question for you, and you can take as much time as you need on this, because you probably have heard a lot of questions over and over and over again. Like if you're meeting with somebody to talk about helping them on a 60, 90-day plan, right? You probably hear the same either objections or questions over and over again. And so much so that if I give you this platform right now to make your FAQ section for your website, which is brooksdemming.com, which we'll talk about again, that the answer to this question could be that FAQ section. What are some things that you just hear all the time and you just want to kind of answer them?
So I get, how do I sell myself without selling myself? I get that
Wow.
question a lot. A lot of the times people feel like if they're being genuine in an interview, or if they show up, as their genuine self, then they might miss out on an opportunity, especially if you have people that are more, have that are more charismatic, or, just have a more personality that draws people in. So I get that question a lot. How can I sell myself without coming off as selling myself? I get the question, how can I stand up for myself in the workplace without appearing to be aggressive? Because, a lot of the times we're not really taught crucial conversations. And so a lot of the times when we're trying to, uh, advocate for ourselves in the workplace, we can come off as being a little aggressive, especially if we don't, have emotional intelligence, which is our response. How do we handle our emotions? And so I do get that a lot, especially from women clients. They deal with the emotional aspect a lot because they don't want to come across as having a tantrum. So I get that a lot, just how to respond and advocate for yourself in the workplace when you feel like you're not being heard, or when you feel like you are not being treated with respect because of your intellect or what you're bringing to the table. So I do get that a lot. I also get, how do you deal with being passed over for promotion time after time after time? And so those are some of the things that I get more frequently with my clients.
So let's take that last one. Like, how do I deal with getting passed over for promotion time after time after time? Like, what are some things that you would say in that instance if somebody asks you that question?
So first off, I asked them, are you, first off, I need to know, are they really truly conquering, their responsibilities right now? So I asked them, do you have your latest performance appraisal, evaluation? I want to see what goals the supervisors are laying out for them. And then I talk to them, are you really achieving these goals? Because a lot of the times people are so focused on the next level that they fail to actually achieve or conquer their current level. And so a lot of the times they're getting passed over for promotion simply because their long term is blocking them from conquering their short term. And so basically, a lot of the times when we're in our positions, we can get complacent to where we're not really performing at a level that shows that we're ready for that promotion. And so we just, look at all of that and we just lay it out. And a lot of the times it's hard to hear, but most of the times when you're getting passed over for promotion, it is because we are failing to do things that we need to do in order to show that we're ready to go to the next level. And those are the conversations that people don't want to talk about.
Wow, that hit home. Like, I had a position in mind 10 years ago where from day one, everybody was talking about, oh, you're going to go places here in this company. You're going to go far. This is what's next for you. This is what's next. And I kept focusing on what's next. And eventually my performance of like what's now started to slip because I was so focused on what was next. That just made a lot of sense. I bet you there's going to be a lot of people that relate to that and are wondering why they're being passed over. It probably is because they're thinking too hard about what's next. And I think that was really good. All right, Dr. Brooks, I really appreciate your time today coming on and answering the questions. Looking forward to pushing this out live for you. It'll be live pre-recorded in a couple weeks, and but getting you these videos, and I hope you'll do some cool things with them, and I hope you'll tag us when you share them. But real quick. So at the bottom of the screen has been a ticker since the second question. I wanted to come back and just one more time talk about your website real quick. So if you want to get in touch with Dr. Brooks, contact her at www.brooksdemming.com. That's Demming with 2 M's. And Dr. Brooks, thank you so much for being a guest today.
Thank you so much for having me. It has been a pleasure.
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you so much. All right. Take care. All right. That was awesome. Dr. Brooks, another guest to Meet the Experts. Great episode. I mean, she's on it, right? Like if you got something, she's gonna take care of it. There's no mincing words and beating around the bush. 30, 60, 90 days. Whew, that's good work. Get right to work day one. So really great to have her on. If you would like to be a guest on Meet the Experts in the future, all you have to do is visit www.meettheexpertspodcast.com. Again, www.meettheexpertspodcast.com. Doesn't cost you anything. Love to interview, love to get more people in our network, in our sphere of influence, and give you some free video content that you can use in your social and on the web, YouTube, wherever you want. We give you the video. So with that being said, until our next episode, I hope you have a wonderful day. I know when we're recording this episode right now, it's July 3rd. So happy 4th of July, which will already be passed. So by the time you watch this,